ready for an unforgettable experience. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get hype.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Hype. We have a very special guest in the building today, former Dallas Cowboys safety, legend, of course, George. That's right. Are y'all ready? Let's go.
All day,
I love your intro.
all night.
I love your intro, Sky.
Let's go, Cowboys Nation. That's right, that's right. The George Teague joins the show today with the crew. How are you guys, gentlemen? Law Nation, Big Game James, and of course, the man himself, George Teague. What's up, man?
Man, hey, man, it's all good, baby. It's great to be alive, be a Dallas Cowboy. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
he bringing the energy already.
He
He came
coming
in
with
with
it.
the hater. He came with the. All right, we
You
ready.
know
I'm
what it
flexing.
is? It's
My
the fresh
I'm
cut.
flexing.
It's the
It's
fresh
the
cut.
It's the
cut.
fresh cut.
It's the cut. We talked off air about that cut. He ready.
Look at it, the Teague specials over there, man. Hey, that's one of them head hunchers over there. Knock your head
at
off.
the
We ready to
Teague
go in the
special.
field right now.
Look
you
at
know.
it. He looking under the chin. You know, hey, you know when they get the mirror and you lift your head up and you lift under your chin, you know it's a good one.
Yeah, you know it's a good one. Yeah.
Hey, man, I gotta say, you look.
I gotta show it all because I was looking so bad. It wasn't that little 20-25 minute cut. It took like an hour and 20 minutes. Man. It was bad.
Hey, when he got finished, did he use the green alcohol or he used the clear?
He used the hot
Oh,
sauce.
Oh, he had that green with that little
Ooh,
thing.
It hit
dabbing
you a
it
little
like
bit.
this.
It sting you a little bit. You know, made James get on up.
Yeah, you made James get up out of there. Hey, it's one of those situations you looking back and say, man, this better not be T.O.
That's right. No,
Oh,
I go to play
Look, he already did the segue. He already did the segue.
Before
He
we
going early at it. He can't even.
Look, he coming. Look, T. He coming early with the segue.
Hey, before we go start,
Yeah,
before we start, I just got to say this. There's two teams that I cannot stand. Two teams. The 49ers, the 49ers and the Green Bay Smackers. The Green Bay Packers. You did a good deal against the 49ers, but those Green Bay Packers, I cannot forgive you for that because you played for them. But you did made it back up, though. You did make it back up.
Oh, they drafted me, man. What you want me
supposed to do?
No, you know you were
Sit
supposed
down
to
a
come
year
to
or
Dallas from the
something.
game from A1 day where you supposed to come over here. You know you wasn't supposed to fool with no daggone Green Bay, man.
They deep,
They
James.
had
They
an
deep.
opportunity.
I bet you did like this. You just took that Green Bay stuff off you, and then you put on that silver and blue, baby. I'm telling you, it was just different, wasn't it?
Hey, George, before we get into everything here, how are you? What you got going on in life nowadays, man?
So I am good. Thank you for asking.
Yep.
Family's healthy. I'm good. We've been fortunate that we don't have anybody really close to us that got, hit with the COVID or anything of that nature. But other than that, I'm still coaching high school football here in the area at John Paul II High School. I'm become the master chef because I'm doing a lot of barbecuing and cooking.
What's your favorite thing to barbecue?
My favorite thing to barbecue that I do the most, of course, is always some pork ribs and the chicken. Now I'll do some brisket. I'll do some lobster. I'll put the veggies on there too, the corn. Man, I can.
You be
I'm not afraid to try
So
any of
basically,
them.
I'm about
you
ready
already
to come
set it
down
up
there
for
and get
us.
the.
Yeah, you already set it up for us to come
George
over to the
Teague
crib
special.
and have that. Yeah, you already set this up for us to come over.
Hello?
And thank you. We appreciate it.
I think I just froze up, man. I didn't hear what y'all said.
but Teague, you got to show me something because I'm originally from Mississippi. So when I just moved down here about a year and a half ago, going on 2 years, and I was looking for a barbecue, man. And I sit there and told everybody, I said, I haven't had a good plate of barbecue since I left Mississippi. So what's up?
All right. So I'll do this. We'll put it on air so you can rewind it, keep it, say what. I'll throw
See?
when I go to the next round with it on my ribs. I'll save you a little plate. We'll hook up. We ain't that far apart.
Okay.
I'll meet you where we need, and I'll give you a plate of the ribs, beans. I don't know if you like corn or you.
Man, I love everything, man. But a mean potato salad, everything.
Nah, if you're gonna want some of this corn now, you might. If you're from Mississippi, I don't know what part of Mississippi. You probably from Carthage, Mississippi.
That's way in the woods. Yeah. I'm from Natchez, Mississippi. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so but that's cheating though, because you right there around the corner. So you like, oh, I'm just gonna go get this and get that. Okay, can you FedEx any of that? Because I'm in Ohio. Go ahead and FedEx me some of that meal over here.
No,
Oh my goodness.
I ain't in that business right there.
Oh, man.
Yo.
All right,
good
James, you
stuff.
want to come off the top rope with it, man? Because I know that's what you've been waiting to come off the
I've
top
been
rope
waiting
with this
on.
one.
We coming off the top rope. Everybody's been hitting me up, George. Hit me in my inbox, like, ask him this, ask him that. Make sure you ask him this. No, I'm gonna ask him the first thing. So I was there. I was sitting in front of the TV. And the 49ers, and just like Law said, I hate them. There's certain teams I hate, and the 49ers are one of them. So
Right.
when I seen T.O. get that touchdown and run strictly to that star, I said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I was mad as hell. I didn't know what to do. They kept on playing it on Fox and everything kept on replaying. I was just mad. And then I seen Emmett go out there. I said, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Slam that ball right there. There we go. Okay, I'm feeling good. But when that joker ran again over into the end zone, I said, oh no. But then I seen my dog. I seen my dog come smack him. I said,
my dog.
I just want to know I just want to know how it happened from when he first went to the star. What was the thought of you guys on the sidelines, and just take us through that whole kind of moment.
Okay. Well, so real talk with that, fellas. I mean, and you know how it is when you're playing in a game, it's heated. People are talking. He and I were talking a whole lot of trash during the game. And I don't know why, because they were beating us. You know, it wasn't lovely, but he felt like he needed to be all up my ear half the time. You know, so there was a little bit of precursor to that, right? So when he went to the star the first time, everybody including me, like, come on, man. You know, that's when you first get your first piece of disrespect. And you're right. Emmett goes back and like, all right, we're cool. So when we got down to the next play, when they got down on the goal line, I knew he was going to score. And that's a bad feeling when you're a player and you know who they're about to throw the ball to, and you know you're not going to be able to stop them, right? So they got him over there on Kareem Lattimore, rookie, whatever. I'm like, all right. So I already got in my mind, and this is the part where it starts getting, I guess, a little convoluted or whatever. I got in my mind, he's going to celebrate. I know that. But what is his celebration going to be? So I'm on the other side of the field. He's over there. I know they're throwing the ball. He catches the fade ball. I'm eyeballing him. Hard, laser eyes. Like,
you watched him.
Yeah, so I think it looks like he's about to go to the crowd, and then you can see him. You go back and watch it, then he changes, and he starts pushing people out of the way, and he's running, and I just totally lost it. That little bit of energy you had just a minute ago, when you thought you were upset, man, I was boiling, and I just took out and really just blacked out. Basically, it's like, okay, enough is enough. I'm headed out there, and bam, that's right. Timed it up. That was lucky.
That was perfect timing.
It really was.
That was a perfect timing hit.
I mean, I think that's what makes that, I don't want to call it a play, but that moment so iconic in Dallas Cowboys history. And I'm going to say history, man, because it's one of the things, it's a moniker a lot of us say, is defending the star. Right. And you literally did that. Right? Like, you had to be bleeding the Cowboys in your blood to go out there and do that after the second time he did it. And it was just so, iconic to us as fans. But for you, to you, it was just a moment that you just, it hit you in your head. You were furious, you were mad, you were angry. But afterwards, did it hit you that, you know what, this might be a bigger deal than what I thought?
I really didn't feel that, you know what? And so I'm going to give you a backstory here, right?
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
first of all, when I hit him, the part that I liked the most as a player was that they don't really show a lot is that big lineman, that big, thick lineman that was chasing behind me from the 49ers. And I
I
gave
seen that.
I
I seen that. I seen
all my taekwondo things, my karate, all my flexibility stuff, my eyes on the swivel, man, made him miss. So then I wanted to go at him, right? So here's the piece, and this is where you're gonna like this, fellas. You're gonna like this. So I've never been kicked out of a game before, so I got ejected, right? I don't know what that looks like, what that means, what to do. So I got to head back into the locker room. Darren Woodson had already been kicked out of the game.
I don't remember.
Don't talk about that. He had he got so frustrated, he tossed his helmet across the field. They tossed him, right?
Right.
So he was in the locker room. I go into the locker room. He thinks the game is over, right? Because I'm coming back in the locker room. So I'm fussing at him, right? He don't know what's going on. I said, hey, bro, this your fault. If you would have been out there, I might have had a little bit of help. I might be trying, So I don't know what to do because I've never been in the game like this. I know there's a lot of football left. Well, I actually decided to leave, so I didn't stay at the game. Now, so as I'm exiting, catch this, because a lot of people, there's going to be a conversation. Come Monday, when I go back into work. And as soon as I got to work, I was met by Jerry Jones and the gang about my actions during the game. So.
Oh, really? See, that's
we talk about that conversation. Are you allowed to talk about that conversation?
Was he upset or was he proud?
Jerry Wayne was like.
No, they were very proud. And this is how they started off the conversation. Hey, George, I think what you did was noble, and I understand it. I probably would do the same if I was in the situation. And then they hit me with the but. And then it was, but we have to fine you because you got kicked out of the game. Automatic rules, NFL rules. So, so it was that. And I was like, okay. I got it. And I said, well, when is that going to happen? Do I get an appeal? No, you don't get an appeal. Tomorrow, because that was a Monday, tomorrow is coming out of your check. Wow. All $24,999 of it.
Dang.
So there it is.
So you wasn't worried about no
and that was back in the days.
You didn't care about no historical relevance of that because that fine got you a little bit there. You said, I don't care about the history.
So
that's a great story. What, if you don't mind me asking, what did your brother do? Was he like, what happened?
So ironically, there was a young lady. So I'm saying this a good side for my brother because there was a young lady sitting in front of him. They were standing up, right? Everybody standing up at the game, doing it and something. And there was a belligerent fan that was trying to tell this old lady to, sit her butt down and all this kind of stuff. And he kind of took offense and went to her defense.
Wow. Okay.
Fan stuff.
Started to beat up on the dude a little bit.
He said beat up on him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Punch him in his ribs a little bit.
I just poked him. He said I just poked him a couple times. That's all.
Yeah, he just touched him on the shoulder like this. That's all he did.
Man, listen, that happens. That happens at every stadium, man. It gets like that. And I'm glad for your brother for standing up for an older lady. So, woman, period.
I love him. I definitely love that.
Oh, man. I'm so glad I got to hear that story from you because we have our own perspectives from it.
The whole story.
And I told myself I don't want to go back and listen because I might have heard it a long time ago, but I was like, nope, I don't want to hear it again. I want to wait for George to tell me, on the show. So
live.
We can hear it and experience it all over again, man. I played the video. I can't play it too much. I don't know how YouTube Illuminati, funny.
Illuminati, they be
I was looking at it when you played the video. I was like,
I know. So let me get it up out of here.
I was looking at it too, like, Sky, we don't want to get the thing blacked out.
They said play the video, Sky. So you know what? I'm gonna play it. It's such a great video. It's worth it. I just want to see him hit him one time.
That's right.
And then I peeped the part.
We gotta see that. I watch it too. I watch it all the time too, man. I'll be all up on Twitter and Instagram just watching it like, okay.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, George, I want to ask you a question about that. So I think I heard your statement about it, but after that happened, did T.O. talk to you about it? Did he have any ill feelings with that with you? Did y'all have any conversation? Because you said y'all was rapping back and forth, talking trash back and forth. What happened? I mean, what was after that?
And so no, we haven't talked, and I did try to speak to him. He has not. So did he have ill will? He still has ill will. I don't have any ill will. I don't have
Really?
any ill will to him. And actually, when he came to the Cowboys, I thought that would be the greatest time for us to at least connect. I mean, we were players, and so actually, I mean, he gave me the cold shoulder, boss. I mean, I was on the field at the game. I thought, so I'd already tried to reach out to him. Went through his agent, went through the little marketing girl that he had to try to, figure out really just to be able to talk to him, because the bad blood or whatever, right? So. And I thought we might could capitalize on the opportunity. There's some money that probably could have been made out of that together. So I was like, let's turn this into something. Well, anyway,
could have, sure.
Sure could have, yeah.
That's kind of crazy that he still felt like that, though.
Man, when he got here, fellas, I was on the sideline, walked up to him. He looked over me like, bro, if you don't get out of my face, kind of thing. I was like, really? I just wanted to get some dap, a little love, and be like, hey, man, it's all good. Go about my business. Nope. And then right at that point, I was like, okay, I see,
You see how it is, basically.
Hey, you know what, George? you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look at his sign. I'm gonna look at the horoscopes because that's gonna tell me something about him. He in his feelings a little too much, man. Let it go, dog.
Yeah, that's a
man.
long
It's
run.
football, man. This football. They ain't no. How many times you play sports and something like that happening after the games are we like, we good? You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Like,
we'll dap
really?
it up. Yeah, dap it up and be over with. I would have been like, look, let's line them up right now. But that was prime T.O. though, right? Line them up right now. Let's end this.
Yeah, it definitely was prime T.O.
Hey, George, how many coaching staff that you went through since you been on the Cowboys?
Ooh, so I came in under Barry Switzer.
Yeah,
and then I came back. So I left, came back, had Chan Gailey and and Dave Campo. So my
dark ages.
I'm sorry, George.
The dark ages.
Sorry, man.
I'm sorry, big dog, but them was the dark ages.
I had to pull the scap off, man. Just had to let it bleed, man.
What?
It was rough,
but Parcells, did he at least change the mentality when he came on, right?
He wasn't. Were you there for Parcells?
He
wasn't there for Parcells.
No, he wasn't.
So who was the last person? Campo. I thought T.O. came.
Campo. No, he had
so
T.O.
came. So T.O. didn't come when Parcells was there, right?
I think he's just saying when he came.
No, he was saying after it was over, he met up with them and was like, "Yo, what's up? It's all over." And he was just turned his head. That's what he was talking about.
Yes.
Okay, because your last year was 01. So it was when Parcells came.
03.
Parcells came like
03. So you were gone.
I'm trying to tell you, he was in the dark ages.
I got a coaching question for you. You came in pretty much at the tail end of the dynasty, with the Cowboys. So you still play with the triplets or what have you, Darren Woodson, and so you got to be around that championship pedigree. But then almost immediately you got Chan Gailey, who wasn't bad with the Cowboys. But then you went from that to Campo. How was that transition as a player to go from? I understand Barry Switzer gets the rap he gets, but he won the Super Bowl. You were on coached under or you played under a Super Bowl winning coach and players, and then to go from that to see kind of the demise of that franchise's golden days in the 90s. How was that as a player to go through it?
Even at that level, it don't matter how much money you're making or how good you are. You still have to have a guy that knows how to motivate grown men to, do more than just grab the check. And so they all got good minds and good football and all that. But if you can't find a way to reach a guy that's 38 years old, or 22, and make him still want to run through the wall, at least for the organization, maybe not for you, or to get him to motivate himself for the next contract or whatever it needs to be. And I don't think, they really had that. They were very smart. They were very tactical, X's and O's, but firing up the locker room, that's, that takes a skill set to try to coach grown men who aren't necessarily going to listen to you all the time. And that's why I appreciated, I want to give him a big props. That's why I appreciated Mike Zimmer, who's the head coach who came out of there. Because even though he wasn't the head coach, that's kind of who I leaned to. And he was a very good balance of fiery, great coach, but also to be able to talk to you and tell you, like, bro, if you want to make this team, you better get your stuff together.
Right.
You know, you better pick this thing up. And that took me a long way. And I know that's why I played 9 years, because I was around guys like that. Dick Geron, Clancy Pendergrass, Mike Zimmer, you know, all those guys, they had a way to figure out how to push guys' buttons. They knew it had to be different for George Teague or Darren Woodson or Emmitt Smith. How do you motivate Emmitt Smith and those guys to get
at that point? Yeah.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, they're self-motivated, but there's still that day. We all have that day when we don't want to practice. When, you know, I'm probably tired because I didn't sleep well Saturday night going into the Sunday game at noon. So you got to have someone that can really hit you, or you need to have a leader in the locker room. That's what the problem is, I think, with our team now. I don't think.
Another segue.
I'm sorry.
No, you ain't sorry.
No.
Wait on, because we about to come with the current Cowboys.
Going on with the current Cowboys, we've been allergic to INTs, turnovers, and takeaways.
And safeties.
And safety play. You played at the free safety role, and you played some strong at times. But when I looked at your stats or what have you, I seen that 1 year did you have 4 interceptions in 8 games.
I think that was the year you had 2 pick sixes.
That was in '96.
Don't
you know what we would do? Don't you know what we would do with somebody right now to get 4 interceptions in 8 games? We would build a statue and put them right beside Sky Mirror. I'm for real. Let me know if I'm lying.
He ain't lying.
Yeah. We will put a statue. You had 15 collective interceptions in your career. Don't you know what we would do with that right by now?
I mean, you're not lying.
You know, that's from, or the lack of that, in my opinion. And there's probably different levels, but part of it, I don't think guys study the game the same way that we might have did back in the day. And it's real easy with film. I mean, they're on the tablets and all that, but there's also a whole lot of other distractions. But I think what my success came from is taking calculated risk. Some people would say, hey, you were a gambler, right? I like to call it calculated risk, because I would hear it from Coach Zimmer a lot. Coach Teague, George Teague, you got lucky on that. You got lucky. And I said, no, this is actually what you taught me, that when they line up like this, they're on this hash, he got this foot up, there's a 95% chance that this is going to happen. So I used to like math, and I knew probability. And if that's probable that they're going to do it, I'm going to go. You know, I'm going to go. And that's what I try to teach my kids. So I'm going to bait them too. Not just go where you do it, set them up. I'm going to go over here. I know you're going to throw it over here. So I'm going to look this way, kind of like the look off in basketball, right? You don't turn back. And as soon as you do, bam, I'm going to go take that. So I was risky like that, to do that. And what we had, which I still think they don't have, is I had the communication with the corners, with Primetime, Pup, you know, Charlie Williams or whatever, because I would tell them, fellas, when this happens, I know I'm supposed to be in the post to help you on that deep coverage, but I am not going to be there. So you need to cover the post by yourself.
George, just you saying that, I didn't mean to cut you, but just you saying that, think about it. I was listening to like Xavier Woods, the current, you know, safety right now, and I've been listening to a lot of people in the secondary. And one of the things they always, a lot of have been saying is the communication. The communication. If the communication is off, guys aren't in the right spots. That's what I've been hearing about this secondary the last 3 or 4 years, how the communication is being broke down. So you just saying that right there tells me, like, where is the leadership on the back end? I feel like the Cowboys are missing that type of guy, when you had Woody back there, you had guys that were putting those guys in their spots. When you have the safety position right there, they're putting those guys in their spots so guys aren't out of place. And I feel like that's where they're lacking in it. And there's no true leader on the back end. There hasn't been one.
I appreciate that, man. And you next time y'all talk to Woody, you ask him. And I feel confident he'll do this. You say, man, who got you lined up? When something was going bad, who got you lined up? I took pride into that. I wasn't the best athlete or the best guy or whatever, but I knew where everybody was supposed to be. And I could tell them, and they would all look back. All of them. Dion, whatever, whoever you talk to, stay over there, man. You good. Don't run with the motion or whatever it is. Just stay over there.
Well, you're yelling, cut back, cut back, cut back.
Well, I was yelling at Dion, telling him to tackle somebody. But anyway.
Well, you mentioned taking calculated risk. Just the word risk in general is something that is not seen in Dallas the last decade, y'all. I mean, y'all tell me. But I mean, just honestly, we had a conservative head coach in regards to play calling, and I think that also trickled down to defense. We ran that Tampa 2 type of defense, keep everything in front of you, let everybody dink and dunk, and you didn't see our cornerbacks or our safeties take a lot of risk. Is that something? It just kind of just popped in my head when you said risk. Is that something you noticed from afar, or as a you're a head coach, right? You're a coach for football. Do you teach your guys that kind of risk, or is that something that differs from coordinator to coordinator, scheme to scheme?
Yeah, I think it would probably be more on the coordinator and maybe even the head coach, because I do talk about it as a coach, and we kind of evolved. The first time it was, the whole bend don't break, just kind of not let anything happen. And I had that as a coach going in because I didn't think I had the talent, right? But now we evolved to where now, fellas, you got to go get the ball. You got to strip it. You got to take it. And here's how you're going to do it. I'll put you in the best position. So
put you in the best position. I love that.
We're going to we're going to allow you to go make the play, not just stop it, but to do something great. So our mentality then was score on defense if you can. Get the pick six. Got to get the ball first. So that was the mindset of the coordinators to be able to say, we have to get the ball back to the offense first.
Right.
Now, if you can take it all the way back, go, but there's going to be an opportunity. And that was the best thing I liked about the coaches then. It was, you're going to have an opportunity. Go for it. And you might miss it, it was going to be a big play or whatever, but here are the probabilities. I don't know what their books look like now, but we had every percentage down. But every
That's very interesting.
Oh my goodness! Back then,
hash mark 2.
I love hearing that
formation, and I study that, and all the ones that I saw 100%, 100%, 100%. Hey man, they're gonna have to break them.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. George. You played under Zim. He was the defensive guy. And recently we picked up Coach Edwards, who played, I guess, coached under Zim as well. So some of that philosophy that you're talking about, don't you think that it will translate over here now since we got George? Although he's not the defensive coordinator, you would think that he would have some fingerprints on that. Do you think so?
I do, as a matter of fact, and I think McCarthy, just the way they were in Green Bay, they had turnovers and they made plays. So I think he's going to be vital in that too. And I do know, and I've watched, George Edwards and him being the coordinator. I forget where he was. But anyway, he's going to be more aggressive in that sense of trying to create that, because he's the same kind of guy that's looking at data and all those things and saying, how do we become better? And when you start to look at turnovers, that's a big piece of how defenses become great. It might not necessarily always, there's a piece of how many points do you give up, but that turnover ratio, if you can win that and you got a defense, man, shoot. I think it's going to be good, though. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, George. So we all been talking, conservative don't win. That's just our opinion. Conservative don't win. I mean, and when you're an aggressive type defense, you're going to give up some plays. I mean, that's the nature of the game. You're going to give up some plays. But when you're aggressive all the time, the sacks come, the turnovers come, the big plays come for your defense. I just feel like We didn't have that under that regime under Garrett, and too many times that bend don't break. I don't like that bend don't break when you have talent. Just like you were saying with your high school team, your bend don't break because maybe you didn't have the talent, but then you start evolving. You got the talent. You're like, okay, you know what? We're not bend don't break. I got talent now. We're gonna be aggressive. We're gonna attack you, and that's what frustrated me about the regime that Garrett had was because they had the talent
Yeah.
to be aggressive, but they still played the bend don't break defense, and that's very frustrating on my end. What's your thoughts?
No doubt.
I think you're right, and I know we're talking a lot about the pass and blitz and all that, but you have to be aggressive in rundowns as well. And hopefully, with this new regime, and that they will be even more aggressive on that. The run blitzes. I don't know how much we talk about that.
Yes.
You got to know the tendency and say, y'all aren't running over here. We're going to blitz all these gaps or whatever. And yeah, they might go the other way or cut it back, and they might, like you said, break one and give up on you. But you got to be aggressive. So I'm hoping, and I feel like they will. You got some better secondary guys. So if they do try to hit you with a RPO or something, that you got guys that can cover your tail a little bit if they pull the ball out or check. I completely 100% agree that if we're just sitting back and not trying to go make the play, we're not going to catch up with New Orleans, and the Patriots.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that either.
We can't be afraid of those quarterbacks, though, even those elite quarterbacks. We got to put some heat on them. And when you have a linebacker or a corner or someone that then understands that other mindset, that when we blitz this way, the ball's going to go the other way, and then that's when they got to bait and take the chance, because the defensive guys know exactly where the ball's going, right?
Right.
I mean, they do know it. We're blitzing over there, and whoever
hot route, yeah.
Jared Goff looks and he starts with hand signals. You know where the ball's going, and it's really up to you to say,
nope.
No,
not today.
But for 10 years, we only rushed 4. Basically, we didn't really rush 5 or 6 and send a blitz. We didn't blitz a lot collectively as a team. And all I'm hearing now is that this new regime, they may send 5, drop 1 back in coverage as it relates to one of the defensive end guys. That's why D-Law, he's going to be standing up. So it's going to be a different flavor, I bet.
Listen though, and you made me think about this, and I'm gonna give you a Green Bay story in favor of Dallas.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is in favor of Dallas, because I was playing with Green Bay and we were playing against the Cowboys. I think it might have been the NFC Championship here. Probably can go watch the film, because I got beat for a touchdown, so that's why I'm exposing myself.
Okay, I like that. I like that humility.
Keeping it real.
That I was taking calculated risk playing against Troy and Mike. Now I'm on the other side. I'm in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of knew the tendency. They were very good. Some things you just couldn't stop, but we knew, right? So we got in the formation. We knew it was going to be. I was like, all right, now I'm on Mike. I'm not on him, but we kind of giving it a disguise, shelling it. So I know what he's going to run. When we line up like this, they're going to run the slant every time. They've been doing it. So I'm like, this is my opportunity. I'm going back to it. I see the little hand mover, the shake. Right. So then I went, this is my chance. Now, my calculated risk was right up until the point he ran the slant and go. so
got him.
Yeah,
got him.
Now I'm saying that because my mentality was not and my staff was not like, hey, you're right. Here's how you fix that. Take a better angle. Cut him off if he turns back up on you, blah, 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 right? I think now these guys, they don't want to take that risk, even if it means giving up the big play, because it's safer, let him catch it, tackle it, as opposed to being the man and go and getting the ball and take it.
I love hearing that right there.
That's also been the mentality
I love hearing that.
of this defense. If you think about it, under Rod Marinelli, it's let them catch it. We want them to matriculate down the field. They want them to do that, and then hopefully they mess up or they get a field goal or punt the ball. And I think that was a problem, man. It really was, and it put our offense in such crazy positions to have to drive 70, 80, 90 yards consistently, you know?
Because teams can go on a 15-play drive now. You know, back in the day, it's hard. They can do a 15-play drive, take up the whole quarter, and then
putting your offense behind the 8 ball. If you have a team that keeps on driving, every time they drive, they're taking 6-7 minutes off the quarter. You're putting the offense back in a situation where now we're talking about Ezekiel Elliott. You're not running him now, right? Because now you're feeling the pressure of we got to score. And I've seen a lot of times in those games where we would get down and they're like, okay, well, we can't do this now because we have to go to this. And that's been the problem. And when I see a McCarthy, I'm not saying he's like a god of a coach, but when I watched him in his years at Green Bay, he was aggressive. Now, toward the end, he got a little flag of not being aggressive. The Seattle game, the championship game, he got a flag. But when you saw him at Green Bay, he was a very aggressive type offensive coordinator. He'd take, you had guys that were getting 130, 140 targets on offense. And I'm like, what? I like that.
What's your thoughts on the McCarthy hiring?
I was very excited. It caught me off guard actually because I didn't really know where he was going to go with the hire, and I think it's a great hire. First of all, I know that he's super excited to be here. That was good to hear. Just his press conference and to be able to almost be like a fan or to say, "Hey,
that sold me a little bit."
To say this is my dream job. I mean, that means he's got to do everything that he needs to do to make it successful, and that might be have to make some tough calls, whatever that means, personnel, taking some chances. He's gonna have to because, I mean,
he's gonna have to because Cowboys Nation is tired of waiting. For
years. Hey, George, he got hot fire grease. He got hot fish grease on him. I told people, he ain't got hot fish grease. Yeah, he do, because guess what? The pressure that he left from Green Bay, you got hella pressure coming into Dallas, okay? Because now everybody's looking at your success at Green Bay, and so Dallas is anticipating, the fans are looking for that to come over. And honestly, I'm excited, and I want to ask your feelings about not just, Skywalker asked you, but not just your feelings. Like, what do you think about the personnel with Dallas right now? McCarthy coming in, do you think they have a Super Bowl type roster where they can make that run?
Yeah,
I do. Having CeeDee Lamb fall in our lap.
Oh
my goodness! I was sitting there watching.
That's what I've been talking about. My God, yeah.
Like, really, this is really about to happen. We about to get one of these guys,
right?
This is really. I was on the phone. They're just texting guys like, we're about to get one of these. They're like, Gary's not going to take him. I said, yeah.
Right.
Take that. Gary's about to get that dude.
Yes, indeed.
He's got the weapons. You got a running game. You at least got a couple threats. I don't know enough about the tight end yet to say if he's,
he good.
That.
I do know you know about Diggs, though. I know you know about Diggs.
Come on, man. You know about
Diggs.
Roll Tide. Talk about him. Roll Tide. Talk about him.
Hey, they were talking about, him, and then you got your other guy, Clinton Dix. You got some.
Talk about them Bama boys.
Talk about them Bama boys, right?
Well, it doesn't take very long for people to figure out if you got Bama boys on your team, you're probably going to be in a better situation.
There we go.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't know that Bama bias.
See, here's the thing. I grew up a Miami Hurricane fan, and you got that infamous play. See,
he got the play.
You got the infamous play for us, famous play for you, but infamous play with the strip, and it was a hell of a play, though. Oh my goodness. Hell of a play, so I give you that.
Were you even born when that happened?
No. Well, yes, I was born. Wait, that was what? Late 80s, right?
Look, now you're
early
trying 90s. To go way back.
Because I can't remember. It was early 90s, late. I can't remember which one it was, but
January 1st, 1993.
Okay,
man.
I was born. I was born.
He was just coming out the womb like.
No, I wasn't. I just know my history a little bit, just a little bit, a little something. But yeah, we got a couple Bama boys on the squad. That's right.
Yeah. So what's your scouting report on Diggs first?
I think he's going to be more aggressive. The things we're talking about, I think he has the knack the ball skills, quickness out of the breaks. I mean, I do, and I'm not being biased about this because I think he's there, and I think he went. I thought he's actually going to go higher, in my opinion. I thought
Well, yeah, a lot of people have him in the first.
They had him in the first. Dallas. They had him going to Dallas in the first round.
Did you peep what number he's going to wear?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So yeah, I like that. Clinton did coming in, I think is good.
I like it a lot.
So people were talking about, Jamal Adams things and what to do and all this kind of stuff. But I think yeah, you're on that train too. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No,
But
it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. When Jerry's not gonna spend that much money on the safety, and he's not gonna take the pay cut or not get the money that he deserves.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream.
Yeah. So, though is more. I like his game because I guess I kind of see some of my game in him.
I was going to say that, man.
Yeah, I think he can do both because he can cover a slot guy. He can make the plays on the ball. He's maybe a little conservative, but I think he's a student of the game. I mean, all of us kind of saying he's kind of bounced around a little bit too, just trying to find his niche. But playing for the Cowboys is when I had my best playing experiences, just because of crowd and the, everything.
Cowboys.
Say that. Yes, it was. And I don't know that my game was any different. It was just a better fit for me. And I'm hoping that for him, this will be that same type of deal that got the star on the helmet. He can be the leader in the background. He can be the vocal person. He's already seen enough elaborate defenses that he should be able to get people lined up. Hopefully he's the vocal leader. Let Xavier do his deal. Corners can lock it down. We got the linebackers already in front of them now.
Oh, yeah.
Good group with Lee, Jalen, and Van Der Esch, and up front. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I think all the pieces are there.
So Teague, would you put hilarious Clinton Dix inside the box, or would you gonna play him outside out in free?
Don't put him in that damn box.
Because you just talked about Woods. So how would you roll that thing out for 2020?
Personally, I would like to see, and I don't know what they said, and I haven't read enough about it. I would like to see more as a free.
Okay.
And Xavier more as a strong.
That's what it's looking like.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, there's not, in today's age, there's not a lot of difference in the two, just because of the spread and the way people throw the ball. And maybe you need to designate a guy. So it was kind of like me and Woody, if I can go back to that, we had similarities, but when we knew it was going to be a run, primarily he's the guy that was going to go down most of the time, just because he was more Irish or whatever. So it wasn't necessarily the scheme, but if we could put ourselves in that situation, he was more comfortable being up there. I was more comfortable being back. So we could work our system out again, the communication. Yeah. Hey, when they line up like this, they're going to move the tight end. They are. People are always moving somebody. So line up on that side. He's going to come to you, and then we're straight.
When I'm listening to you, break down these games and these plays and things like that, it's obvious to see you have a high football IQ. And that's what a lot of people say about Clinton Dix, is that he may not be the most athletic safety out there, but when you look at his career resume, he has a lot of interceptions. He has a lot of big plays, and that's because I personally think it's because he has a high football IQ, and he does what you were saying earlier. I know I can, what play is going to be run. I'm going to beat you there for that interception. And he did a lot of that in Green Bay under Mike McCarthy. So it's very possible, resurgence with Mike McCarthy could happen here in Dallas. I'm hoping so, but I like the signing. I think he's best, like you say, at free safety. With all the guys in front of him, I think he could have a resurging year, in my opinion. I know he's a Bama boy, so I know you're rooting for it.
I was about to get, I was going to come back with that. I'm giving the credit to Bama.
He repped that Bama. That's for damn sure. He repped Bama. No, they know no distinction about it. He repped Bama.
Hey, let me talk about position of flex right quick with your Teague. Cheeto Awuzie, it's not like he's a bad corner. A lot of people label him as a bad corner because he don't get what we all like, turnovers and takeaways. Nevertheless, do you think, in the heart of hearts, can you play him inside at the box, or can he play in the safety role with this team, or is it still up in the air?
I think that if you can't make plays, this is a personal belief, okay, from a coaching standpoint. If you're out there on the island and the natural thing is to try to move a guy inside, it's harder inside
Yeah, because they can go multiple ways. Yeah.
they're going every way, and then you're going to get lost in the shuffle. And if you're not ready for that, almost like a nickelback or the fifth DB, you can't do it. So no, I don't like it now. I don't necessarily like them outside because you're not the aggressive type, and maybe you're going to get picked on a little bit, or something of that nature. But I don't think that you move guys inside just because they're not getting it done on the outside, unless it's your scheme is built the way you can protect him. So until I know what they're going to run, if they're going to be blitzing a lot, if he's stuck trying to cover this guy in space, I'm not for that. No disrespect to him at all.
We would love to see him in more of me personally, in more of a coverage role back there, but I'm not 100% ready to give up on him at corner because he was always around his man. I just think the conservative coaching is the reason why a lot of these corners didn't get interceptions. Maybe that changes. Who knows? But I think we got the talent back there.
You're right. And, we don't give enough guys credit because when you go into evaluations, your scouting department, who you can get, I mean, it's a whole lot deeper than just what we're thinking because they know what kind of person they're bringing in, meaning he can cover the guy 80% of the time, and we're going to be okay with it. That's a team philosophy, that when you're evaluating, what kind of guy are you bringing in with your scouting? The department is telling the head coach or the position coach, this is what you're going to get, and so I don't necessarily put that on the coaches always because most of the time they already kind of have an idea. Maybe they hope they get out of it, but through college study, game film,
right,
you kind of know that you got what you got. It's not really gonna he's older now, he's gonna change. I don't know. You're trying to project. Sometimes you get it wrong.
Honestly, I said that about Xavier Woods on my last show. It's like he's a mystery to me because I really like him, but we're going into year 4. It's very possible he is what he is. And maybe that's how it is for that 2017 defensive back draft because that's where we got Woods, Awuzie, and Jordan Lewis. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on Jay Lou. But a lot of those guys kind of seem to be who we thought they were, basically, right? But we'll see.
Yes.
Speaking of that, Teague, how do you feel about the fact that they paid Anthony Brown, right? And we still have a placeholder on Jordan Lewis. Do you think that Jordan Lewis should be a starting corner in this particular defense, or is still up in the air? Do you think that he can play a starting position?
I think he can. I do think that he can play. I think. And guys, this is so messed up with the whole COVID deal and not having camps or preseason stuff because it's going to do some people a lot of injustice, I guess, of how to compete and move up for that, and especially when you got a new head coach, you got new defensive stuff coming in, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So I try to refrain some because we didn't get to see him in June camp. Or April, May, right afterwards. I don't know what spring training is going to look like. And so I think that the coaches are going to be a little bit more conservative too, to say, this is what we've seen on the film and we're going to have to stick with this until proven.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise. So, but do I think he can do it? Money always plays a factor into everything.
We've been talking about that. We've been talking about follow the money. Look at them contracts.
Follow them dollars.
We've been talking about it, George. If you look at them contracts, see, we could talk about, he looks good, he played that. But let me go back to that salary and let's see what that salary say. If he ain't making a lot of money and this other guy is, well, guess what? You might not have that chance.
No, guys, I played at Miami. I don't know if you guys knew this.
Yes.
We remember.
For a couple
I was signed as a free agent to go there, to be their starting free safety. I got a good deal, multi-year deal, 3-year deal. Guys, when I got there, within 2 weeks later, they signed another safety, gave him 3 times the amount of money that I got.
Wow.
You knew right then and there.
So you knew.
I knew right then.
You
I
knew
called.
right then.
I called the head coach and said, "Hey man, what I need to know, bro? What does this mean?" Oh, well now, and it changed, and it was strictly money. Well, you're gonna have to compete. You won't compete with him, because he's in there, but we're gonna let you compete at this other side. Blah blah, and it really just messes you up. That's a whole different deal. But it goes in the point of saying that money does talk with that. That they're gonna try to get the people that are on the field that are making the money. They're not paying them to sit on the bench. That's for sure.
That's our whole thinking. We love J. Lou. We all believe he's probably our best playmaker. But when the a new coaching staff comes in, has a clean slate, and they decide to sign that guy that plays your position to a 3-year deal, I can't ignore that. That's all.
Right.
I can't ignore that.
And when you bring a guy in that's that we just brought in a Worley, we had him on the interview this past week. And when he signed in, he's almost making $3 million. The highest paid cornerback on the team is Anthony Brown, who they re-signed to a 3-year deal. And the second highest paid guy is Worley. I have a hard time believing that if you brought a guy in from a different team who's making almost $3 million a year, who's the second highest paid cornerback on the team, that he's going to be sitting the bench.
When that happens to you, players, when you listen to this, when that happens to you, you get outpriced. Call your agent immediately. At least start asking questions, not to be traded, but at least start asking questions. What does this mean? What is my value? What do I need to do? And trust me, I learned that. So I wasn't the one that obviously played on the same team, all that, for 9 years. So I got traded. I know what that means. I got cut. I know what that means. I went through the free agency. I know what that means. So I feel like I got a vast, I can talk on all aspects because I know exactly what that looks like when someone calls you and says, "Hey, you just been traded." What?
Don't they call that the Reaper in the NFL or something like that?
The Reaper.
Yeah, we sure had them. They all wear black too, man. Wear black.
George said they signed that safety. And he said,
"What the hell is even that?"
Hey, come on, coach.
Come on now. Hey, George, what is your position on Rain Dakota Prescott?
You see, hold up, before you answer that, you cheating, Law. You cheating. What? You cheating. I was ready for that question.
Hey, man, I'm just reading in your mind.
He come with the 30-shotters.
Well, so what are you asking me, though? Do I think he's
I'm like, wait,
40 million?
Does he deserve that money? What's up?
Be specific, man. What's
up? What's up on his contract, big dog?
I thought you was a dog over there.
No, for real. So for real, what is the question though, Law? Because is he good? Is there the money? Like, what is the specific question you want to ask?
It was a powder keg, and I threw it over there. I thought he was just going to jump right on it. All right, so do you pay Dak? Do you put him on a franchise tag, or do you sit back and say, okay, Cowboy, do you personally call Jerry Wayne Jones and say, hey, don't you remember the dark days when I was down there playing for the Cowboys? And Troy Aikman, although I played with Troy Aikman, but it was on the tail end of the situation.
Hey,
you got a quarterback now.
Woody rolled off. He was very honest about those quarterbacks y'all played with. So don't be afraid to be honest.
Yes, and I'm not gonna listen. Y'all should know me by now. We've been talking for an hour, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat the stuff with you or whatnot. I think
we love.
I don't think if I was in Jerry Jones' shoes, I understand the money and the marketing and all this other kind of stuff. I'm not going to go out there first and overpay this guy. I'm not going to give him $40 million.
Okay. You're going to have a lot of fans in the chat from saying that.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
they're gonna play this. We're gonna play this, and Dak haters gonna love you.
But so why not?
I like him. I think he's gotten better. I think he's evolving. We're putting more weapons around him. He's going to get smarter. He's going to have another coach that probably can give him more tools to effectively run an offense. So I think he needs to sign that 1-year franchise tag. Bro, take the 31, 33 million, whatever it is. Get it, man. Take it. Have your year and come back, and the money is probably really, really gonna be big.
Oh yeah.
Because once you come in and you start balling, and you have 2 or 3 400 yards game back to back to back with these guys you got and Ezekiel, then you call Jerry and you say, "What's up?" Because
So
So
in
do you
other
really
words,
think that? Go ahead.
you telling me and the nation and all of the Dak Prescott apologists. I'm not one. I'm just saying. But you telling us right now, collectively speaking, that Dak Prescott should bet on himself again.
That's what you're saying.
That's what
That
you're saying.
is exactly
Sign the
what-
franchise tag or just sign whatever offer that's out there now, right?
I mean, it sounds like Georgia's
And ball.
speaking on Dak's behalf in the sense of, hey man, I can make even more. Get this
True.
$30 million or whatever it is, $31 million, and then I could get maybe even more if I just wait. It's a strategy that Kirk Cousins did.
Because there's going to be clarity on the money. There's no clarity on it. The COVID, we don't know what TV revenue is going to look like. People might not be in the stands.
See, that's a good point. I'm glad he said that.
All kind of stuff is going to be going on.
Right.
And then that affects next year too, right? So the owners are not going to sit here and bet on themselves. Huh?
Here's why.
No, but he's making sense though, Law. Like that makes sense.
It makes sense, but week 4, week 5 of the regular NFL season, Dak Prescott drops back. He scans the field. He's sacked. Shoulder blade out. Shoulder blade gone. So don't you think that it would be even wise for him to just take the $35 million that's on the table? At least there's more money than the 31.
And it's a guaranteed deal.
More than 30.
Well, so okay, in that sense, if and again, I haven't talked to him, I don't know that, but if it's
right.
a $35 million deal over 4 years,
5 years,
5 years,
5 years, yeah,
and 90 million of it is guaranteed or whatever the number is, man, sign that thing and let's go.
I think it's like 100.
It's crazy.
This is just only speculation for the nation. It's supposed to be around 106 million.
Yeah. So that to me, and I'm saying that as a brother, I'm saying that as an athlete, I'm saying that as whatever. Take the 100 million guaranteed, bro, or whatever it is, and get it now.
And get it.
And if not, don't shoot too far because you're not going to get whoever your agent is or whatever. If you're trying to get 42, 43, something, break the bank, I just think that's the wrong deal. So yes, I probably should clarify the other part, what you're saying, that I think you got to really be in those 30 somethings, mid 30 somethings.
I think I get what I'm picking up what you're putting down. This isn't a don't pay Dak because Dak Prescott's not worth whatever. It's more so, hey man, the environment we're in right now, we don't know what next year's contract is going to look like right now, and you got to guarantee $31 to $33 million. Take it, bet on yourself, and then now you have clarity. I'm just paraphrasing what you're saying. Now you have clarity on where your contract will be for the next 4 or 5 years. So, I mean, that part of it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, because I don't know what his real mindset is.
I never thought of it that way.
Now, is it try to get the most money? It's two different kind of things. They run together, but I get it, and I understand injuries. Again, I said I can talk on this. I got tagged when I was at Green Bay, and you have that decision. Do you want to hold out? Do you want to sit? Do you play for the money? Well, you know what? I played through the tag, and I ended up getting traded. Later.
Do you regret playing on that tag?
No, I don't. Not at all.
It was. I think y'all. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I believe when it first came about, the players liked it. I don't think people hated the tag back then until later.
Well, yes, and I know we keep using the word back then, but the rules were so much different with free agency, salary caps. What did it mean? I mean, you got to remember back then, free agency, it was 6 years before you could even become a free agent.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
So then it changed to us that you could get 4 years before you were a free agent. It's a different world. Money wise, they're making a good chunk of money, and that's awesome. They should be, they deserve it. But there still is a strategy. It's a business, fellas. I mean, as much as we want, it is a business on both sides. We got to take care of ourselves as players. Dak need to take care of his family. and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? That front office is the Cowboys also looking at their bottom line, and they flipping over all the papers and they going, we got all these guys.
Stephen Jones is doing that for damn sure. Stephen Jones is doing that. He looking all through them papers like, I don't know about that, Dak.
Let me make something clear. Let me just make something clear to our subscribers here, our viewers here. My stance is not changing, Vaughn. I'm all for pay Dak. I believe they should pay him right now. Pay the man. He's worth it. He's our franchise quarterback. I believe he could take us there. I'm just saying, subscribers here and viewers and fans, I understand George's perception of it. I understand his view of what he's saying. That's all there. Because they know I'm all about paying Dak Prescott.
They're like, oh, what you don't like Dak?
Yeah, they like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, Sky. You don't like one Dak get paid?
I'm like, no, I want him to get paid, but I
think I swayed George a little bit to go ahead and take the 35 if he was Dak Prescott.
Yes, I got you.
I'm persuading over here. You know what I'm saying?
They said
there's nothing wrong with $35 million a year when you ain't made nothing but $2.
They told me there would be no math, guys. That's what they told me. So let's not talk about no more math. Simple question: is Dak Prescott the franchise quarterback for this team?
Yes.
Then that's it. That's pretty much it. Don't matter. The money, just get it out the way. Figure it out at some point, whether it's this year, next year. I don't care. If you believe he's the man, then get it done. That's how I see it.
Well, there's another guy named Andy Dalton on his team. Do you think we can win 10 games with him if Dak Prescott sits out or refuses to play or what have you?
No.
Hey, y'all need to rewind that clip because he was like,
it was
no.
it was a strong, emphatic no.
No.
He didn't think about it or nothing.
He didn't even think. No.
Be real. That's what we do on this show, though, man. Hey.
That brother did it like this. No.
He did the Debo, or he did it on a Friday. No.
Andy Dalton for a game or two, a couple games, sure. But Andy Dalton over a 16-game season, then going into the playoffs where he's 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions, 0-4 in the playoffs, 55% completion. Yeah, nah, I ain't feeling that.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. Quarterback play, and it's different, and it's, spotlight on it, but you hit it on it earlier. It's sometimes you know what you're going to get. I think he's a great backup. He can start. He's not I don't think he's the one that's going to take us back to the Super Bowl.
No,
even with the guys that we have. So I just think Dak is a better option. That's for sure.
He's a better leader. I mean, that's in my opinion. When I look at both of those guys, and I'm not hating on Andy Dalton, but I just don't feel like, just like you when you was talking about that, George, that when I look at Andy Dalton, he's just a backup guy. I don't think Andy Dalton has that leadership just to take you over the hump like a Dak does. I don't think he can rally the troops like a Dak does. I don't think that he can put everybody on his shoulder like a Dak does. And I think your role is the backup role. If something happens, boom. Come in there for them 2 or 3 games, make it work. Dak come in there. And honestly, I don't think Dak is going to be sitting out no 10 damn games. What player have you seen really sit out on that franchise tag? Not too many. They talk all that talk, but when you're missing and getting fined game checks, that changes when you got bills to pay.
Well, that's right. And especially if there's been any kind of success that's going on without you. I mean, look at Le'Veon Bell, how that turned out for him,
Not great.
Lost $15 million or $14 million.
There's only so many Emmets.
I can't do it.
There's only so many people that can sit out for a few games and your team goes 0-2 and you come back and they say, you know what, we did need you 22. Let me go ahead and write this check.
Yes, indeed, man. That's good stuff.
Hey, I got one question from me. We were talking about you. It's funny because in your career with Dallas, you've had some epic moments.
Yes.
Everybody remembers the T.O. thing. That's epic. But also, we wanted to talk about that 9/11 when you were able to roll out the flag. I think it was like on the 23rd, right after, like 2 weeks after 9/11. That had to be something very – I'm getting chills right now just talking about it. Just running out there with the flag right after that happened and you being the person to run that out. That had to be, ridiculous. Kind of go through that whole process of how you were able to run with the flag out there. Just talk about that whole thing because that was a memorable. You've had memorable feats in Dallas in your short time with them.
Yeah. So everyone I think knew, at least in the organization, knew that my dad was I grew up on a military base, so I got a lot of
Air Force. Shout out, my dad was a Air Force brat too.
Yep. So my dad's a senior master sergeant, retired after 25 years or something of that nature, and so I moved around, been on the bases, so I had a different kind of respect maybe for the flag maybe than most people. So when 9/11 happened, it meant, although I wasn't hit necessarily with like the people in New York and stuff of that nature, it still hit me hard just from a military standpoint, our country being attacked, that kind of thing. So when we had the opportunity to go back and play, I really didn't have an idea of what was going to happen, what was going to play out with that. Your flag guys, and I don't know if you see those guys or whatnot, there was a guy that was actually supposed to run out with the flag after me. But I pulled a little nice conversation with him and basically said, hey, brother, I'm going to need that flag.
Real smooth and kindly. Hey,
Real smooth. Hey, hand over that flag, big dog. I got it. I got you. I got this today.
I got this. Sit on down somewhere.
I got this. Sit on.
So that was in the back of the tunnel. So he politely gave up the flag with me, and I went out. It was just I didn't think the same way. I didn't think it was going to be the same type of eruption from the crowd and all that. It was just, and this is kind of how I felt personally. I think it was good, and to go out and plant it out there on the star. That is. Shoot, that almost makes me cry.
Yeah, I'm getting chills. That crowd moment's got to be ridiculous.
Oh man, it was crazy. And what I liked even more, or just as much, as being asked back. I don't know if you guys saw it, 2016 when we played. Yep. They called me up and said, "Hey, would you want to do this again?" And of course, I was honored and let my dad know. But I will tell you, because I was a whole lot older and I gained a whole lot of weight, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't fall. Whatever I do, I can't be that guy. Can't be that guy. I gotta practice. Give me a flag. What's how big is it gonna be?
Running in the backyard. Come on, man. Give me the backyard. I gotta run around.
Right.
Yeah, because they was running across the, and it was coming out of the tunnel the other way and when to go, and you got the camera looking. Man, it was just, but it was awesome. It was good to have the family there and relive that. So another big.
It is an absolute iconic moment. Again, it's for someone who didn't win the 3 Super Bowls right in the 90s. You sure as hell got some iconic moments with the Cowboys during our dark days, man. So
isn't it kind of weird though? I talk about this with my family a lot, and I feel like I've had some really good games. You've mentioned some. I felt like I've had some. We didn't have the Super Bowls, but personally, I've had some.
15 interceptions.
Really good deals.
You had a really good career in Dallas,
but people really only associate me really with 2 plays, 2 non-plays: the strip in the Alabama game, which is not a play, and then hitting Terrell Owens is probably the second one, and then the flag is right there on the third. So I'm not saying that because I'm mad about that. It's good talking points that I could talk to my daughter and my kid, and my son, to be able to say, listen, I played all my life Little League, high school, Alabama national championship, and ain't nobody talking about any of that. So it puts the game back in perspective for me. That really is how you reach people, touch people. What are you doing for your community? How are you really making this impact? Because they're not going to remember those plays that you made in 1993 against Oakland. Your first year in the league.
I don't mean to get too serious here, but obviously we know the state of what's going on around here. But if there was a around the country, if there was a symbolic type of flag you could kind of run out with right now virtually, right, during this time, and that could give kind of positivity to the nation, what flag would that be during this time frame?
I think you would kind of need some type of blended flag of colors, browns, different shades of browns, even some different shades of white. I think we've really lost our sense of any piece of togetherness. The one thing about the sports, and when we talk about it in the locker room, is we're all in it together. We may not all get along. We may not all grew up the same way.
Camaraderie,
yeah, but you know what? In the end, we all had a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
That was to win the Super Bowl. And I was going to do whatever I could for whoever it was to make that happen. Unfortunately, we don't have that same attitude out in the community. Right. Where people can say, no, we got one common goal. We got to get rid of this stuff. And I know I'm going down the road to it. I apologize for that.
No.
No, you're good.
You ain't got to apologize. Speak.
This is unfiltered, all raw.
Talk how
everything. Yeah.
So, if I had that and I had the opportunity to run, listen, I just emailed Charlotte Anderson. She might not even opened it yet. And so no one's probably, if you see my Twitter, I did put this out there, but I actually emailed her probably 2 hours ago. I probably can look it up and tell you, and said, you know what, here's a thought. We need to open up these doggone stadiums. We have peaceful protesters out there. I want everybody to go, every owner, open up that stadium and let the protests happen. It's happening in every state. It's happening in every state. Open it up. Let's give the forum to George Floyd. We can have speakers. We can have pastors. We can have ministers. Videotape, stream it just like the draft.
That's a good ass
Do it for
idea.
3 days. Everybody get in there. You want to protest, a rally, put 80,000 people in 32 stadiums on the same day, the same 3 days, and let the voice be heard. And it can be mixed, white, black, Democrat, Republican, because we're all talking about the same good thing. And if the other people want to go loot and go do all that stuff, then they're going to isolate, and they don't have it. If there's more people that need to do it, then you know what you do? Open up the basketball gyms. There's still more seats in there. We can social distance, then go to hockey. Then we go to soccer. So we can put all 60,000 of those people that were demonstrating somewhere, put them in the stadium. They still can go walk and march, but then give them an opportunity. Well, at 9 o'clock, we're all going to the Dallas Cowboys stadium. They're going to have a Jumbotron on. We're going to show a tribute to Greg Floyd, and we're going to talk. We're going to cry. We're going to pray. We're going to do all that, and we're going to hug, and then let the media not show that. Let's see if that happens.
Yeah, they ain't going to show that. They ain't going to show that.
Yes, indeed.
And you know what? CNN won't be on that.
You got a brilliant point, George. Think about it. We didn't have March Madness, right? We didn't have the end of the NBA or what have you, the NBA. All of those things that normally unify the nation, get people all riled up, rooting for a team, all of that stuff dissipated. And what you're saying is bringing all of these people back together for one cause so that people can have something to root for. Maybe it just be the change of policy, change of philosophy. That is next level thinking.
Or even
I think
unity.
that somebody really, that's unique. That unity part of it is unique. I hope Charlotte give you an answer within 24 to 48 hours on that.
I appreciate you, sharing your thoughts on the situation. I know it's a difficult conversation to have, but like a lot of people are saying, we need to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable. With that conversation. So I thank you for shining a little bit light on that. I appreciate that, GT. Can I call you GT?
Yeah, man. That's
I was going to do it. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, when I hit him up, I was going to put GT, but I was like, who's this young whippersnapper?
GT, can I get a witness?
That's what most people call me. As a matter of fact, I don't know why it comes out that way, but I appreciate it.
It just flow. I like it.
It flow. GT, can I get a witness?
Oh, man. It's that old Kurt. GT, are you with me?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, he know about that. He know about that.
He know about that. So who don't know about that?
Right.
Make me wanna have.
See, we relaxed over here. See, we got a lot of people mind off of everything, man.
That's what we try.
And this is what we envision for
we
this
had a
show.
great conversation with you.
Great conversation.
I love talking to you today, man. Kept it so real with us.
Appreciate it. So,
Chemistry.
Yeah, I'm really.
And we can get back into football, man. I know you started going into the Minnesota game. You know, that people slip on that.
They be slipping though. Man, you was talking about that, George. People be talk about it. They be forgetting about that. What you did to them Vikings, dog. Talk about it.
You know, so when we're talking about plays and things that players remember, because first of all, and make all your listeners, your fans, your subscribers, when you're talking to players, and I get this so many times. Hey, tell me how it felt to hit Terrell Owens. Tell me how, that's kind of hard to do. How did it feel? Well, so, or this one, what was your favorite play? And they assume I'm going to say it was the hit.
Right, T.O., right.
Right.
Right. That can't be your favorite play, man.
Can't be.
It's not. Or your favorite game, because they think something. But anyway, so, when you're a player and you have games like that, those are, impactful. Well, first of all, we won. But as an individual, you go, dude, this was a tremendous game. This is what the Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings in a playoff game. You got a turnover, then you get another turnover, then you get another turnover, back to back to back. It's just like, those are the things that I look back and when I'm sitting around feeling good about myself or need to feel good about myself, I'm like, yeah.
He said, I did that. That was me.
I did that.
That was me.
Or intercepting the ball as a Dallas Cowboy, intercepting Brett Favre, taking that one back for pick six, winning the game, remembering primetime looking at me because I ran in front of him and took the ball. He was waiting on the ball in front of him.
Yeah.
So, and then having Leroy Butler come over and say, man, you were lucky. So then gave me that word.
He said you was lucky.
And
Leroy Butler was pain in the butt in the 90s.
Oh my gosh, Leroy Butler used to get on my nerves.
What is your favorite, let's say, game as opposed to play? Would it be that playoff game, or what would be your favorite non-playoff game then? It ain't got to be the T.O. hit, because we know, again, that was just a play. We lost that game. I'm pretty sure there's a game you like better than that.
Yeah. So if you're talking about me personally, it definitely has to be, in my Cowboy days, and I had some. I think that was the overall collective game.
The Vikings one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's a play in '96, my first year when I had on number 30. I know
number 30.
I actually, a play that no one would ever think about, but it was super important to me. It was a fourth down play. This is where, you're trying to, I've been traded and cut, and I, ended up having a huge play against the Patriots, to get the ball back and all that kind of stuff. So it's, it was really important. But I think there's a lot of memorable games, but
it could be a game. As opposed to a play. You got a lot of games.
It's that, listen, for me, it's that Minnesota game. I'm looking at it right now. I just want to read it to you, George. Can I read it to you, GT?
Come on, let's do it.
I want to read it to you because, first of all, you was killing it that year. When you said you started 8 games, you had 70 tackles, 70 pass defense, 6 special teams tackles, a career high 4 interceptions before you got hurt. In that Minnesota Viking game, you were dominant. 40-15 route, forced 3 consecutive Viking possession turnovers. His first, when he denied a 43-yard touchdown reception by stripping the ball, which went out of the end zone for a touchback. On the next Vikings possession, he caused a Leroy Horde fumble, then proceeded to return an interception, 29 yards for a touchdown, received NFL Defensive Player of the Week honors. And then guess what? The Cowboys couldn't resign him at the damn end of the season. Salary cap problems.
Salary cap.
You know what I'm saying? God damn that damn salary cap.
That's right. Oh, let me show y'all something. I think you just made me think about this.
Show it. Can you give me a jersey?
I'm
sorry.
Oh no, I thought I had. I'm sorry. I thought I had my. I gotta get it up here. Shoot, I don't know why I didn't show that, because my little mute button is supposed to have me up with my flag on.
Oh, okay.
So I pulled it down or something. But jersey, I just gave away a jersey on Twitter. I don't know how you missed that.
Oh, well, I did miss it, but hey, I'm throwing it out now.
Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established.
You want ribs, and you want
I want ribs.
Okay, I'll take ribs. I want ribs.
Wait. Just y'all keep talking. I'm gonna show you this real fast.
Okay, I'm getting a jersey. I already know I'm getting a jersey.
I hope he's about to show us the ribs.
Well,
Man,
we already
y'all got me hungry.
We
talking
already
about
talked
briskets.
with Woody talking about him need to come us
Which
down.
one y'all want
Okay.
this
Yeah.
Hey, I take that.
Oh,
Hey, look, that go right in the cave, man.
That's perfect
Yeah.
too.
That's a big one too. Now this
Yeah.
ain't no little one. So this.
Oh
ain't
yeah.
Actually, that picture is literally directly next to your face on the screen here. So
Oh
Yeah.
nice. Look at you,
Doubles.
man.
Hand action.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I love it.
yeah, it was only right. I had to. Man. I had to.
Yeah.
You got mad skills, man. You doing all that stuff, man.
I'm trying to tell you, wait till you go back and watch this. You be like, I like them.
Yeah.
I like them. They're
I
good.
appreciate
They good. That
GT.
boy's good.
That boy good. He good.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, we don't want to hold you up too late. I know it's only
Yeah.
like 10:30 on your end. It's almost 12 on our end. You in Dallas, right? Texas?
I am in Dallas. We're Central Time. so
Central,
we
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not on
Texas
the
time
I'm
over
not on
here.
that CT time yet.
good.
I'm on CP time, but I ain't on the CT
Yeah,
time.
CP time. Yeah. Y'all started on time though. Y'all did good, man.
we tried.
Hey,
Well, you
we-
know,
hey,
we
was
tried.
prepping for you, big dog.
Yeah.
We was all like, okay, we was in the
I said,
lab like
GT, he
5
in here.
hours ago. Like,
9:56, he coming.
No, okay,
Yeah.
be serious. Hey, be quiet.
No, but you
He about
gonna
to come
send me the link with 30 seconds left. Got me all
No,
sweating
no.
over. You know what I'm saying?
You like,
Don't
I
make it
hope
like,
these brothers be sharp, man.
don't make it like it's my fault.
No,
that link
you know what's
there. It
you
go
know what's
in
funny
late.
about that?
He coming in late.
When I sent him the link, I said, "Damn, he probably think he's just hopping in live." But I have to let him know, nah, I'm gonna load you up, brother. I got you. We go a couple minutes
We loosen them up a
beforehand.
little bit.
This ain't ESPN. You can't just hop in. We ain't got it like that.
Nah,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
I gotta be prompt, man. I gotta
Yeah.
be right, man.
I appreciate
gotta
that.
be it.
We try
Man,
to
you
be as
right
well.
on
We
it.
don't make a bad impression. Like, man, these brothers late.
I was the only person made the mistakes today. I'm talking about you played with Parcell was on the team.
Oh,
I'm the
yeah,
only
yeah.
one made the mistakes. Y'all two did a good job.
Well, we'll let you slide, dog.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
let me
you only
slide.
get one rib instead
Oh
of
my goodness! All right,
Well,
hey, you know,
talking
I'm
about
always
him.
gonna try to
I'm just
persuade
gonna
you a
tell
little
you.
bit.
I'm just gonna tell you, George. When I get now, when training camp starts, because I'm gonna be down there. I'm just gonna tell you, I am gonna holler at you. Please don't act like you don't know me.
Oh yeah.
If you guys are
Big
good enough,
gang,
we
I don't
might
know
be able
who
to
that
do
is.
this. Listen, so I don't know if y'all see my barbecue grill.
I
Man,
have.
you keep
I
talking
looked
about
at your
this
stuff.
food, bro. You keep on talking about this food.
I looked at your stuff.
It's a star grill. It's shaped in the Cowboy
Oh.
star. So I had it
Oh,
specially made.
okay.
My grill is a star. So maybe I can be enticed because it's portable. So I can put it in my tow in the hitch of my truck.
Mhm.
Maybe I need to put it out there at training camp. I need to go ahead and cook them ribs.
Come on.
Oh yeah,
man.
and I want
Already
to try
throwing
some of the
it- you
brisket.
already
Since
speaking
you
in
only
the
gonna
air
give me
now.
one rib, can I get some of the brisket? See, I'm always trying to navigate this
You
situation.
done already spoken
to my
in the
favor,
air
you
now,
know?
GT. It's already you spoken in the air, so go ahead and do
Spoke
it.
it into the air.
No,
We're
'cause
standing right next to you with our,
Because you know
our
Frisco is
aprons
right
on.
down the street. Frisco
I
is
need to
right down the
stop.
street, and that's where they're gonna be at this year. So
But all the people gonna want to get some, man. I
I know
gotta
they
really
are.
help everybody, so I can't.
We set up live,
Hey.
live with George Teague Barbecue.
live with George T, brought to you by, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Powered
Late night
by the late night hype.
Hey Joe, before we get out of here, is there any like charity or anything you want to plug for your Twitter where they can find you? I know you're a head coach. I don't know if there's anything going on for your school, even though we're out for I don't know how long when school will be back. But anything you want to plug in though before we go that the fans can kind of go support.
No, thank you very much. So the only thing I really want people to know is that, I am at a private school. I do coach at a private school, John Paul II High School. Every now and again, we do need some support of people who can't, afford it or need the help or whatnot. If you do believe in Catholic education or something of that nature, come on and give it over to John Paul, and help us do that. Otherwise, man, I'm a happy guy. I'm learning this social media stuff. I'm doing better with Twitter. Make sure they follow me on that. I know you guys have been pumping that up.
Yep.
I haven't figured out this Instagram thing.
Yeah,
yet,
I'm not
man.
too
It's
good
a
on
different-
Instagram.
Leave it alone.
That's
Just
law.
leave it alone, GT. Just
Holla
leave
at
it
Law
alone.
Nation.
Just leave it alone, dog. Don't. There's too many of them out there. Just leave it alone. Just
As
stay-
long as you didn't say TikTok, I can figure
Oh,
you
man.
out.
Don't touch TikTok, GT. Do not touch TikTok.
Yeah,
It's for the
do
No,
not
kids.
I ain't done
TikTok.
no
Don't touch
TikTok.
You get in
Ain't done
trouble.
no
Yeah, we
Get in
actually
trouble over
have your Twitter handle has been below your picture the whole entire time. So
Mhm.
if you guys want to go follow him, it's right there at Teague Football, man. He is a funny follow. I've noticed that over the last few days, man. I like the Twitter.
Saying he was looking good on the picture.
Yeah, he said, y'all
You're
got me
gonna
looking
get
good.
you're gonna get a few things, and if everybody that watches, because I can't run a bunch of different channels. I don't want to, right? So you're gonna hear about my football team. You're gonna hear about the Dallas Cowboys. You're gonna hear about Alabama football, and then you might hear about some controversial stuff as well. Just because as you can tell, I'm a little opinionated. So
that's fine.
We like that.
That's his channel.
On that.
Hey, George,
I appreciate it, fellas.
Before you walk out of here, I want to know about your high school career because, I mean, I used to coach. I coached a little bit of high school ball, and I coached a lot of youth football. I want to hear about how long you've been doing that over there and what made you get into high school, because we had Philip Tanner on the show, and he's actually coaching with John Kitna in high school. And, you know, that's a big thing. So what kind of got you on the high school realm, and what really made you go that route?
When I retired from the Dallas Cowboys, I was actually already volunteering at a high school. Then because I knew once I got done, I was either going to go into broadcasting or some type of coaching. I didn't know what level. So I was volunteering at a high school. I did do the interns in the pros. So I did spend 3 months up with the Cleveland Browns to try to figure out what I wanted to do. I was dibbling and dabbling in TV and just trying to figure it out. In the end, I felt like I was called to be, a high school football coach. So I started coaching at a very small private school called Harvest Christian Academy. I've been coaching now in high school for 17 years as a coach, but I've only been at John Paul the past 3 years. Which is a pretty big school. I mean, we're a 6A private school, play against some really big teams.
6A, yeah.
We've got it, where we went to in our division. We ended up going to the state championship. I lost in the state championship. Oh man, I gotta get back up.
I don't want to bring up old wounds. I'm sorry.
No, it ain't old. Because I know my guys are listening too, and they know they hungry. That we start workouts on Monday, so we
ready.
Y'all listen to the show, you better get together because we need championship this year.
Let me tell you, tell them to hit them bleachers, man. Plyometrics, man. Plyometrics.
Yeah, yes,
they'll respect that. They know about that.
You could just tell Jerry to tell them to get their act together. Here you go.
Get your damn act together.
There you go. Tell him, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry get it right too.
I need to get that on some kind of microphone too, so I can just hit it in the stadium.
Yeah,
tell
them pick them knees up, high knees, low back.
High knees.
Man, maybe I can get Steele to come be a celebrity announcer for me.
Hey, listen, I used to be a host back in the day. Like I said back in the day, but I used to DJ and host a little bit, so I got some skills on the mic, man.
DJ, what kind of music you playing there when you was DJing? What you playing there?
What you hip hop, R&B, anything you want.
Like you little young whippersnapper, you don't know nothing, boy.
He didn't have no Frankie Beverly Mays, huh?
Yes, what? Frankie Beverly Mays? What? Listen, man, Frankie Beverly Mays, come on, I'm electric slide immediately. I'm old soul, man. Old soul. I like all that. I like them all, man. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Frankie Beverly Mays. You know what I'm saying? All of them.
We gonna test. We throwing out the main. We got them little slide guys you don't know about.
Y'all don't want to see my electric slides game is crazy, fam.
The whispers,
crazy. Whispers, all that, yeah. Rock, another one. Steady rocking all night. Let me just calm down.
Oh my goodness!
Hey,
he gonna be playing some Freddie Jackson after a while.
I think I had the phone recording on that one.
Oh, okay.
On that day.
I'll break one out for you, man. Yeah, so if you get the barbecue going, we'll pull out the cookout music, and I'll show you, man. I get on the one.
See, now we got the cookout barbecue DJ.
We got a cookout barbecue. We got the DJ. We already set it in stone, GT, so you already know what's going down.
It's going down.
Well, they said, I heard they announced that we had to have the training camp here in Frisco.
So you already know what it is.
Right up the road. It ain't gonna be long. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, GT, let me know whenever the date that you're gonna do, and I'll put towards some funds.
Yeah, me too.
For the meat or what have you, and I'll have the other guys to bring the drinks or what have you, and we'll make sure that we get the kids to plate the food to eat free, and we'll go do this thing live.
Yeah,
and we just have a good time.
We'll contribute definitely to it. Money, all that.
Maybe we can get Dez Bryant to come out too, because he was talking about feeding 500 people one day. Maybe we can get him out there too.
Yeah, I don't know if he want to be around the Cowboys right now.
Hey, you see him on Twitter, don't you, GT? You see him on
there. On Twitter.
I don't know.
Yeah, oh, man. Listen, man, I've had a blast with you tonight, man. Hopefully we can get you back on some point during the season. I know you're busy during the season, though, so maybe sometime after. I'm not sure. But
nah, you know what? Because you guys got that late night hike, that give me time to get out of practice, watch my film and stuff. And I'll say that I've enjoyed this. I really appreciate what you guys do, how you guys do it. I'd gladly come back. You know, y'all know how to get to me or whatnot. If it's something, we got some big game, whatever. You know, we'll.
Yeah, during the season, we plan on doing like pre-games and post games, and we have our normal late night show at late, so yeah, if we can, hey, we got GT back in the building, give us some of his thoughts on the game. Yeah, absolutely, brother.
I'm gonna be the late night hike official game analyst.
Here we go.
There you go. I see you do it. See, be careful what you throw out there, because we record this stuff and we gonna play the recording back to you. Said you did say this.
He did say he gonna come out.
Five, you have to do this,
man. we don't have one yet, so I'm gonna put that down in our little.
Yeah, well, look, we already wrote it down. G. We already wrote it down.
The official. Put the official.
I'm doing it too. I'm putting this little contract together.
I was about to say, send over your contract. Hey, GT, my people gonna talk to your people.
Okay, now ain't no sitting down. Franchise tag.
Franchise tag.
Call me Dak.
Listen, we might have to slap the franchise tag on him. I don't know. We gotta get
him
for 1 year.
32
At least get you for 1 year. Hey, dog, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
Listen, make sure y'all follow him on Twitter, Teague @Teague Football, and continue to support the show. We appreciate you, George. We're gonna fade on out. We'll talk to you in a few seconds off air, and then we're going to hop back on and finish our show. So y'all stick around, all right? Late Night Hype.
Yeah. And remember, you're listening to Nothing But the Best.
Yeah, we. Yeah, the mic's on. The mic's on. Mic check 1 2. We back in this thing. Let me make sure y'all back in this thing. Hey, Cowboys Nation, how did y'all like that George Teague interview, man? He was awesome. He was absolutely awesome, man. I love it.
On.
Yeah, and we're going to hold him to the fire about that ambulance, bro.
Him and Woody and all them guys I was talking about. We holding you. We got the recordings.
Indeed,
we be collecting phone numbers and everything. Okay, all right.
But no, real brother, just kept it like we always say about this show.
Keep it real.
Keep it real, man. That's all. And if it's going to be PC, let us know beforehand so we don't put you in no situation. But he was him. He was funny. Oh, I got the Google number up. He was funny. He was real. I loved his IQ. That's one thing I didn't know because I haven't seen a lot of football interviews from George Teague. But man, he has a high IQ.
Right.
And I think it showed in what he was talking about, where he said, I'm not the most, I'm not the best safety in the world, but he had a successful career, and I think it's because how hard he worked and he studied.
Well, not just that. You heard he said, ask Woody. He said, go ask Woody. He said, they tell you, I'll put everybody in the right spots. I might not have been that top guy, but I was one guy to always put them in the spots. And, like you said, Scott, from what I've been seeing from the Cowboys in the defense, I've always been hearing, a lot of times I've been hearing miscommunication. Guys aren't communicating on the back end. There's too many guys getting lost in coverage. Guys aren't on the same page. And when I hear Teague say those type of things, that's how important it is. That's why we like bringing these ex-players on, because they give the real perspective instead of us having our own opinions. We're bringing in guys who played safety in that back end and tell you what it really is. And that's what I really appreciate, because it opens everybody's eyes to what's really going on that field.
Yes, indeed. To be able to identify with these things and trusting what you see out there on tape and film. When he brought that up, the alignment and assignment, making sure people fill their gaps, making sure that, hey, I got the cutback lane. Okay, Woody, you're going to be on the 4th side. You feed them over to the opposite side there. The blitz is going to come on that side of the formation. And on top of that, by him just exhibiting that out there to us, man, this is some next level stuff, Cowboy Nation.
Yeah.
I don't think that nobody else is bringing this type of information to the game.
Not.
And I'm not trying to beat on my chest and say, hey, we King Kong over here. But what I'm saying is that, man, we delivering stuff that ESPN and NFL Network wouldn't dare to touch. They would have had 50 commercials in between these time frames. We've been giving you guys unfiltered, straight up, raw content, whether or not we fall on our face flat, with no commercial breaks for 1 hour and 42 minutes straight
raw,
no chaser.
You ain't lying. Like we said, man, it's I'm not patting ourselves on the back, but who else out there is bringing this like this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one of the things you notice that the people that we do bring on, they are feeling comfortable to talk that. They're not feeling uptight to say, well, I don't want to talk about that. They're openly. You notice how, remember when we had Woody on, right? And even Jesse Holly, remember how they would apologize? Oops, I don't want to say that on here. No, say it. Oh, okay. Well, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? We're giving them that, hey, bro, say whatever you want on here, because this is the platform we want to give you. Listen to this, Dez. Let me say it one more time. Listen to this, Dez Bryant. We are giving you the platform. Come on, we're waiting.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And shout out to the chat once again, to the viewers once again. Y'all know how it is with the interviews. We can't really get in there like we want.
Yeah.
But we definitely seen the donations. I don't know if you guys want to run off your list or whatnot, but we appreciate all the donations, all the shares, the comments, and the likes on the video. You guys been tearing it up, and I gotta give a interesting shout out to Vaughn from Shreveport. I don't know if y'all been following the chat tonight.
Vaughn goes hard.
Yeah. Vaughn, I see you, brother. I see you in there, man. That's all I'm gonna say. You can go back and look at the chat, but he's been very adamant about his opinion tonight. So that's all I'm gonna say is go scroll up in that chat, man. Shout out to you, Vaughn, and shout out to everybody else in here donating.
Look at that.
And, he's been very opinionated tonight.
Yeah.
When something was said and he ain't like, he let it know. He let it be known.
Yeah, he's been doing that for the whole time. Hey, but can I give one shout out to a certain person? Let me give a shout out to Philly Notion. He's a Philly fan.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry. You know how we got Eastside Herald be always in the feed, Houston, Motherfucking Texans, but he be donating. I gotta give a shout out to Philly Notion. He was all in the feed. He's been in my feed he's a deep Philly fan. I went on his profile, everything. For the last week and a half, he's been in my feed. But you know what? One thing I respect about him, I don't hate on them other fans, especially when they show respect. Like we can go back and forth and have our trash talk, and then it just be normal. It's when the people go out of the boxes when I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk to you. But he's been very respectful. But he was throwing donations for the nation.
Right.
Oh, two donations. And one of the things that he said was, I really love your content on here. You're really respectful. I don't hate. I love your content over here. But yes, it's still Philly all day. I respect you, but it's still Cowboys all day. But it's good to see when you see other fans jumping in your feed and they respect your work and donate. And they're with another team. That's real talk. That's real stuff right there.
Yeah, Antoine said, I'm glad we can have conversations like this. And that's what we try to do. Try to bring you guys a platform where we're going to talk ball. We're going to have a good time. And you know how we do, man. You know how we do.
420.
Hey, I'm trying to get into a little bit of some of the comments in the chat box here. Before we do that, because I know a lot of people are going to be logging off here soon. It's getting late. But this is the late night hype.
It's the late night hype, but I gotta go bed. That's what they saying.
Yeah, this is the. I got somebody to do this. This is the. You are listening to the late night hype. But before we do that, I want to say make sure Thursday. I know tomorrow as well, but I know tomorrow is going to be on Law. I think Law is going to be rocking. There's Anthony Wright tomorrow. I don't want to misspeak, but Anthony Wright is tomorrow, correct?
Yes, it is.
So Anthony Wright tomorrow. And then Thursday is wide receiver Cedric Wilson. So for those that might be heading on out, that is the schedule for this week. And we're still waiting to see what's cracking with Patrick Creighton.
Yeah. I mean,
he was on Dallas Cowboy Network. I ain't throwing no shade. We love y'all over there at Dallas Cowboy Network. Why y'all kind of try to take our guys for us?
he played for him.
Yeah, they wanted to get some inside scoop for him. And so I think that it's going to work out well. I think that we're going to get things going in the right direction with PC, especially by him being a Texas native. So I can't wait to pick his brain on.
He's going to have some stories too. He's going to have some stories like Teague had.
I did open up the lines, y'all, for a little bit here, but we'll see if we get. Oh, you know what? They probably calling in, but I don't even got it set up. Hold on.
Yeah, maybe that's telling you we should.
Yeah, that's probably telling me I probably shouldn't. Every time it ain't me, y'all. I be wanting to do it, but yeah, it's probably.
Big Game be cutting that shit off, though.
Yeah.
I'll cut you off. I'm sorry.
You gonna shoot me a text? All right, big dog. And he's getting up there, man.
Scott know he'd be like, okay, and that's the show.
Oh yeah, and I just want to tell the mods over here on the Law Nation side, man. I really appreciate you guys.
You want to give our shout outs to all the people that donated? Or no?
Yeah. Let me do that too. But you go ahead first, Big Game James.
Okay, I'll be in and out. I'm a shout out to my guy Floor Perrier. We know how we do. Member Aaron Lewis. Member Philly Notion. From Philly, came with the holla. Dan Lee, my ninja, holla. Philly Notion, holla. Dan Lee, holla. KMT72, who just got his Diggs jersey. You'll be getting that in about 2.5 weeks, sir. Yes, sir. You were the first one in the thing. Dan Lee was going nuts today. Landon Ishmael, I know he be going ham on you, Law. He be doing that thing over there. And then my guy Dan Lee ended again. I said, I need a $20 holla for the show is, and that's my ninja. He says, okay, I got you, big dog. So shout out to all my peoples and the mods and everybody who was in the feed. I love y'all.
Yes, indeed, man. That's some good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Adrian Williams, Chop, Tony, really appreciate Boswell. Thank all of you guys for joining the membership squad. Landon, Ishmael, really appreciate you. South of Heaven, Multi-Minded Scotty, and Landon again. Shout out to all of you guys straight out of Dallas. Thank you for making those donations. When we have guests on the show, unfortunately, we're not able to pan away to go to you guys' questionings there. I wish we were able to, but nevertheless, we like to give our guests the full platform and the time to speak their mind. And then when we do our normal shows without the guests, that's when we can do all of the donations and hollers and, for the dollars and for your mind. But Also, mods,
Shout
man.
out to you, Toby.
I appreciate you guys regulating over there. Nevertheless, if somebody is posting in the comment section,
Yeah.
as long as it's not a hate, you know what I'm saying, speech or what have you,
Ain't not long.
please allow them to voice their opinions. I'm not over here trying to regulate anybody's thoughts, minds, or what have you, but allow them to voice their opinions. Law Nation over on my page, we don't run for anything, but I just want people to know that please allow them to speak their mind. Just don't block them.
Two things on that. I'm gonna bounce back on that, but shout out, thank you, the boys.
As long as it's not being disrespectful, go ahead.
The boys 2138 said, fellas, you guys do a really good job of making the guests feel comfortable, so they open up. Y'all really doing big things. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
But y'all help me out here in the chat. Was that really EDP in the chat tonight? Was that really him? I couldn't really confirm it, but he was up.
Yeah.
Somebody at EDP 445. I don't know if that was really him.
Right.
Who's EDP?
Oh, you don't know who EDP is?
No.
Yeah, you probably don't know.
Well,
okay,
he's
I'm
a
sorry.
special kind of Eagle fan. Okay, so it wasn't. They're telling me it wasn't. So it was a fake.
Okay.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was a girl because they were saying all kind of things in the feed.
That's what I'm saying. The EDP 445. I was about to say something like, hey, mods, y'all might want to do something. It's one thing Law was saying if they're in here and it's just friendly jabs and what have you. But it was some of the things I was reading from that EDP 445.
Yeah, I seen that, but the mods took care of it because he was in my feed.
Yeah,
I don't know if
throw
he
them out of the club if they
Yeah,
do
that was my
something like
feed.
that.
Okay.
And he came out, and I was like, "Who is this?"
Listen,
and
dog,
they-
it was.
Yeah, I seen that, and I was like, "What is that?" And then I
Yeah.
seen them deleting them, and they crushed them out of there. So shout out to the
Yeah.
mods and my peoples, because I guess he got it off the first couple times, and they destroyed it. So I shout out to my mods.
Hey,
Shout out to the mods.
We actually,
we appreciate the mods.
we actually
you know.
got a caller. I'm gonna get one in. Hey, you there, caller?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear him this time?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're great.
I
Good.
told you I
Yeah,
fixed it.
clear
I
as
told
hell.
you I
Clear
fixed
Clear
it.
as hell.
Great.
What's up?
Yo,
Who-
did you send my name in here?
Yeah, you still there, brother? Who we got on
This
the
is
line?
Dan Lee.
Dan Lee.
Oh,
Perfect call.
Dan-
my ninja.
oh,
What up,
Hey,
ninja?
did Skywalker get to see Big Game James screw up on his on that thing with E2?
I
What do you
was.
mean with a-
I tried to help him
Yeah,
out.
he tried to help. Okay, so really, you gonna come on the line and just do me like that, bro? Okay, you know what? I said we were. If we and you knew each other as kids, we would have been best friends. I'm taking that
What
back.
the hell is even that?
I'm taking it back, Dan.
Yo, for real though.
You silly, Dan.
Shit, you got me all screwed up. No, that was a lot of fun. Yo, for real, you're gonna sit there and do that on? Okay, so. But
Cat got your tongue, Dan.
yeah,
Lee?
man, I'm out. I'm baked, dude.
Classic.
For real, so, all right, man.
Appreciate
I
you
love
calling in,
Dan.
Oh,
That's
man,
my
Dan.
dog.
Dan the man.
That is my dog.
What's his last name?
Can you
Is
imagine?
Lee.
Like
Dan
Bruce?
Lee.
or Sean Lee Could?
He's Sean Lee cousin.
Sean Lee cousin.
Dan Lee, you seen Half Baked, right?
Oh
Dan-
my goodness.
Dan
Yeah.
Lee said, you're cool. I'm out. That's what he did. He came here and said, "What, Big Game James? You don't." No, I'm just playing. Dan Lee's cool as hell, man. He was
But
actually on.
you know who they got that from though. You know my classic movie.
With that.
You know, Coming to America.
Oh yeah. No,
He
I like.
said, who's next?
He said, "Shut the F," and he was like, "F you." He's like, "F you too."
I could not believe it. He said, "Man, you didn't met no Dr. Martin Luther King."
Yeah,
Oh, but that's a good movie, man.
Who said Martin
it's
Luther,
amazing.
the king?
the king.
Okay.
He said, "I know Muhammad Ali. I cut Muhammad Ali's head." Yeah, man. Great movie. Great call. Great call. Dan's
Cuba
funny.
Gooding Jr. played in that.
I
movie,
love
by
some
the way.
Dan.
Yeah.
Hey, and he's a
That's
he's
why
a
I told him
supporter like no other, man. I'm gonna just give him a huge shout out, man. Like he's a supporter like no other. We have great conversations, and you know it's a good thing when you can meet somebody and you don't know them, and then y'all
Right.
really become friends. That's a beautiful thing because not everybody you're gonna meet you're gonna
Yeah.
do that with, but man, you'll meet some people like, yo, we became good friends off of this, and that's a beautiful thing. That's what thing I love about doing this stuff. Because the relationships you do build along the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Especially with our community. It's so funny because I don't mean to be biased towards Facebook. If you're watching Facebook, I'm not being biased, but there just seems to be a sense of community I have on YouTube with the subscribers, and it's an awesome feeling. I'm eventually going to try to develop that same type of feel with the Facebook community. I don't have a Facebook page per se for Scott Skywalker page.
You already know what he's doing. He coming over here and we making that shit wreck.
Who? Oh,
you know what it is.
So another conversation, I think.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think the community here on YouTube is great, man, and on everybody's page. So I like kicking it with y'all.
Yeah.
Dak Attack said, how much longer till we hear about Randy Gregory? Dog, I talked about this on my last show on Saturday, I think it was, or Sunday. I said until I see it happen, to me, he's a ghost. He's a ghost. But all right, I don't want to get into too many questions because we already pressing it here. Any parting shots?
Man, I just want to tell everybody, man, thank you all
for black him out, right?
for helping us out, man.
We got to make that known here, guys. Yeah. Sponsors. That is a black and
sponsor. This is a black and mild.
Shannon Sharp.
It's not a Dan Lee special. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Here's what it is right here, y'all.
Hey man, he don't need the justification for the nation. Hey, they ain't sponsoring us yet.
Time out.
So until they send us a check, we can't give them that.
You can't be showing
that
because where I'm from, you show that mean a whole something else. They breaking that thing open. That's all I'm saying.
Cracking it open. Oh man. Oh, y'all so foul here. I just like cigars.
Okay. Sponsors. He likes cigar sponsors.
Yeah. Sponsors. I like cigars. So if we get a sponsor, make sure you give me the Cubans.
The hen
give me the Cubans.
The black and mouths.
Oh, and humidors. You know. I can't wait till I get me a whiskey sponsor. You know.
No, you need a head sponsor.
They need you. Hey, Law, they need you to do a sponsorship over this, John. Can you give me a sponsorship over this? Off the top of your head.
We're here live at the Late Night Hype with Big Game James, Skywalker Steel, with the cigarillos. Brought to you by.
I'm telling you, man.
You buy cigarillo.
You get him
cigarillos.
Over. Boy,
and remember,
you get that voice over something like that, man. 856, listen, 856. I can't bring you in, man. I can't bring you in. We got to get out of here, man. We be up to 1 o'clock in the morning, cracking up.
Yes,
I can't bring you in,
man.
I appreciate you. I should have opened it up earlier.
I got that 2 Chainz gas. Hey, I posted that video on my page. Go check it out.
Jameson sponsored. All right, man. Let me press the damn button. You know, if I don't press this button, we won't get the hell out of here.
We brought the thunder.
Oh, we brought it again, man. Tomorrow,
Anthony Wright.
Thursday, Cedric Wilson.
Yes.
Cowboy, the CC. We were at Cowboys Network.
The CC.
The CC, man. We up in here.
CC.
Late night hype crew.
Tell them about the weekend thing. We got
an old girl too. We got a
Yeah, I gotta earth that real quick.
He said, take the music off.
Y'all
can still put the fires in the chat box. I love the fires.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I don't want to make this mistake, fam. Don't want to make this mistake. 1 minute. Because we got a special guest on Sunday as well. Ooh. Danny, or am I saying this right? Danny Shurik. She's a Cowboy reporter.
Yeah.
She's on the Blitz for DallasCowboys.com. And I believe she does some podcasting. She fills in sometimes for podcasting. So Danny Shurik, and I might be saying that wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm butchering it. Go look her up. She's on IG. She works with the Cowboys. She'll be on giving us her take on all things Cowboys on Sunday. So with that said,
play that music.
Do the drop. Run it back one more time.
And we out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Appreciate y'all, man. Love you guys.
Remember,
y'all be safe. Follow,
you're
like,
listening
subscribe,
to
share.
nothing but the best.
Yes, sir. We out.